I decided to shape this leather, cut it into a shape like this. I used some paper clips to stabilize it so that it could be cut properly. I would like to embellish the shell of this by applying this piece of tapestry, because I do like the colors. They really sort of a match up and they combine well. So I'm going to do it in this diagonal way. Now, if you want to take advantage of this design to include pockets in the front, you can. But I'm going to stitch it down to see, finish it like that. I've prepared 2 pieces of this material, fabric, prepared, and they're supposed to be applied to the shell in this way. If you apply it this way, then there is no need to stitch along here and here and here. What you can do is to keep it down, you can do a basting stitch with a machine here and along here, because then this is going to be all incorporated into the other piece of material for the bag. This part here, the diagonal piece that runs diagonally, there you can decide to either stitch it flat onto the shell, or you can even stitch it in the middle. Create 2 pockets if you want to. One big pocket, you can put a snap, half of a snap here, half here, and you know. I'm going to just stitch. For mine, I'm going to just stitch right along here. I don't want to leave any pockets today. This is the top part of the bag, and this is the bottom part. So I've gone along and I've sewn this, attached it to the shell, this piece of tapestry material to the shell, and I did the same on the other side. I basted along here, here, and here. Now, this time I really don't want a flat bag. I want a bag that can hold something, okay? That has a little bit of holding capacity, but at the same time remains elegant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a panel, and the panel sits between here, these 2 pieces, sits between here and sits between here. So what I have to do now is I have to measure along here to get the length of the panel. I've decided I want it up to be about 6 centimeters, okay? So I'm gonna just go along, measure, okay, like this. Then the tape measure goes along here. And then you go up here. It's like 91 centimeters, about 91 centimeters. And I've decided then the width of the panel should be about 6 centimeters wide. So more or less something like this. Try to estimate. Try to maybe cut out some of the material to try to understand how the width that you would like. So more or less there. So now I'm going to cut out the material for the panel. We need 1 continuous piece that we're going to be using as the shell. So this is like 1 continuous piece. I decided to use this material continuous up to a certain point because I had to cut 2 halves and then join it. And this is what eventually you're gonna have to, it's gonna be like this. You have to try to picture it. So this is gonna be the panel that's gonna be sandwiched in between the two parts of the shell, and it goes all around. The shell was pinned and part of it sewn to, not the shell, the panel that is, was pinned and part of it sewn to the shell. So sewn this part and I'm pinning it this way. So I have to sew all around again. And this is the way it looks, all pinned. Like this. So both sides were sewn, and when you go around the corners here, for example, like around here, there's a little piece of material left here, like a right angle, and then you have to clip it to get things smoother. Okay, and the excess. Now you turn it inside out. To see how it's shaping up. Okay. Okay, so this is it, the way it's shaping up. If you want to turn out the corners and get them pointy, you can just you try with that, with a pointy object, not too pointy, that is. And here it is. This is the top and the bottom. Okay, the sides. Okay. Now the lining, the inside of the bag here, was done the same way as the shell of the bag itself. Okay. In this one, there are some pockets. I did put some pockets. And it's the same thing. Then on the shell itself, I decided the straps should be sewed, okay, on the shorter side. The shorter side, it's here, this side here. And I decided to sew the straps in this way. I went across here with a stitch, reinforced it though, and I went across here with the stitch, reinforced. So dear, you're going to then place the lining into the shell. A very important thing is, before you place the lining into the shell, you always have to think of what things do you really want on this shell. And you always have to try to calculate, okay, what do I want? Pockets on the shell, whatever. You're gonna have to do this before you put the bag together. Okay, many things you have to do. So you really have to sit and calculate, think about exactly what you want to do. Otherwise, if you reach to a certain point, you won't be able to do anything, and you may have to just go and unstitch and do over again, and it just creates a lot of work for you. So you try to understand what you need to do before putting the whole thing together. Fold about 1 centimeter all around here on the shell, and On the lining, you fold this way 1 centimeter. Now, when you fold this 1 centimeter here and a 1 centimeter here, you baste it all around. Okay, you pin and you baste all around. This was basted all around. Okay. Now I have to try to decide now what kind of design I'd like to achieve and how am I going to close the opening. So I was thinking of inserting, okay, so this is the, okay, so you see properly, top, bottom, the side, okay, the straps that were sewn to the side. So here's what I was thinking of doing. I was thinking of taking this, is all I have left of the leather, and in some way it's very, yes, this is sort of a soft leather. I'll have to line it somehow, and I was thinking of inserting it into this side of the panel. So this is basted. All I have to do is just open here, insert it, and attach it to these straps here. Let's see. Somehow this way. The strip of leather was lined with some black heavy cotton, and I decided to fold it in half, pin it, and now I'm gonna stitch from here to here along the length. I'm gonna leave this area a little flat because I intend to insert it in this, on the side of this panel here, between the shell and lining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the basting stitches here, the basting thread, in order to insert this here, because remember this is part of the strap. So when I sew, I have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It really has to be resistant, okay, because you always pull on straps. Okay, I am sewing around a few millimeters from the edge, sewing all the way around. I really don't want the lining to peek out of the leather here, this side, so I'm going to try to keep everything down flat and as neat as possible. Then you're gonna get to the side where the other strap, the leather strap, was inserted, and here you go, always a few millimeters from the edge. Of course, later you'll come back and reinforce this part here really well, so just don't forget. A lot of bulk. Let's take this pin out here. And you just continue going around the edge so that things look all neat and okay. Remember, placing this strap, you always have to leave some centimeters, because then you got to fold this panel at least 1 centimeter. So just, you know, like calculate, you can leave it about even 3 or 2.5 centimeters. Okay. Has to get over that bump. Cut off any extra basting thread. Okay. And we continue and we come back to the beginning. Lock the stitch. I would like to take these straps and turn them in this direction, always diagonally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just hand stitch, not by machine, hand stitch maybe this part here and another, just to make sure that it keeps going in a diagonal way here, like this. Okay, in this direction, because remember we have the other strap that comes up and it's going to be joined to these two. Another thing is to close the bag. You can use a button closure or snaps. If you decided to use, for example, some sort of a zip, you'd have to do that before. You'd have to make another panel, or not necessarily another panel, but I'm going to be showing you in other videos how you can insert zips in your projects, handbag projects, or other sewing projects. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. And the finished product. So signing off now till the next video. Have a nice day.